I thought I should just talk about it. Yeah. At least in the minimum, we can begin to resuscitate presidential visits to these companies as a deliberate act of engagement.
I fully concur.
I fully concur too.
Yeah.
I also fully concur. And I want to say that the Secretariat notes this, and so that we see, we determine exactly how to go about it.
Yeah, I think it's noted, and I think part of the resolution now of this council will be to develop a schedule of visits, because now that we have a little bit of relaxation of the COVID-19 restrictions, I see no reason why we cannot start physical visits. You recall that, I mean, even visiting our departments in the tertiary institutions was all also on the agenda, but then because of all this, what we will direct at this meeting now exactly, and then come up with a timetable for doing so.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
You'll have our, Mr. President, you'll have our support. Wherever
all right,
we support and go with you, we shall.
Thank you, thank you. Of course, we will need resource persons to follow us wherever as the case may be. So we will always draw that in line with the visit at a point. Really, we'll take them individually.
Sure, NP, you can delegate people in some regions to do it on your behalf.
Sure.
We are ready to support.
Thank you very much, sir. All right.
Okay, so the second sheet is actually showing the some of the companies that are actually not doing very well with us financially. Indorama still there, DAX still there. At the last council meeting, some people actually promised to help out with Indorama. So I think maybe this will also form part of the list of companies to be visited, even though it's not a process company.
It is.
Sorry, even though it is. So Indorama is also part of them, and
you can call them petrochemical. You can call them process.
Well, I'm visiting Indorama soon. The MD is a Benin chemical engineering graduate. Engineering graduate. The MD.
Indorama, sir.
Yes, I mean that. It's Indorama.
Indorama.
I have his profile. It's a Benin chemical engineering graduate.
Not Indorama, sir.
Oh, which one? Oh, that is Notori. Sorry.
Notori.
That is Notori. Not Indorama. It's Notori. Okay, not Indorama. Yes, you are correct. I'm getting old though.
Not good, sir.
Sir, could that be Engineer Charles Odita? Is it the MD of Indorama now?
GED Refineries, who is the NNPC board representative on the board of Indorama. And he has promised to attempt to talk to the MD, Monish Mundra, so that they can settle their commitments. Let me not call it indebtedness. And so we hope that something will come out of that. Thank you.
Okay. DNT.
Yes, please.
DNT, can you send me the WhatsApp number of that man so that we can send him our WhatsApp, our sponsorship request?
Okay, sir, I will do that.
Please do. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, please, before we get away from this, the name of our fellow who works for Lafarge is Engineer Philip Anobi. Philip Anobi. He's, I think, he's a general manager in the head office. So I know he's a very willing person. So I think we can work with him to see how we can recover some of the outstandings.
We'll just talk to him, then we'll do a letter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I think that's all.
You see, that's
Yes.
the purpose of having fellows in this company, so that if you
That's
need
all.
to
That's
access,
all for the company membership. Yes.
Forget about olive oil. Forget about olive oil.
Sir, you have said it before. I wonder why they're still carrying it.
Yes, forget about them.
Onyx.
Olive oil marketing.
Yes.
And all these things.
We have removed the figures against the names, but you told us to still hold on with the names.
No, it's no use. It's no use.
Okay, okay, sir.
I hope these numbers don't appear on the receivables, on the accounts receivable. Then we have to be more rigorous in vetting them all.
So that's the finance report.
Okay. Yes. Bye.
Thank you very much. We now move on to MVL. We'll call on the Engineer Adeyemo to please brief us. Well, our third quarter report our quarterly report to the council. We start with the building projects where we are the project managers. Work stopped at the foundation level, but the fundraising is on. The national president, the board, and the building committee chairman, they are working assiduously to raise the funds for the completion of the project. We are hoping that we'll take advantage of this dry season to start work. And when the work starts, we are hoping that there'll be no stoppage until completion. On training, we put up a vacancy advert for the training manager. The applications have been received and compiled, and the interviews will soon commence, and we will appoint a training manager very soon. Why we were delaying is because the face of training has really changed, and some of the criteria we are looking at before have changed due to due to COVID-19 considerations, and now it has affected the world. On NSChE, we still have the manufacturing is going on. Sales is a bit slow, but we still have our prime customers that come to us from time to time. The NSChE and sanitizers is still on. The third wave has started a new demand, but we have many cheap and fake sanitizers in the market. But those who know the product still continue to ask for it, which is the beauty of it. Then on the NCDMB domestication of barytes and other drilling projects, the project teams are working very hard. They have achieved 80%. Some have achieved 90% as I'm speaking today. And we are hoping that in the next 2 weeks, a draft of the final report will be sent to NCDMB for their comments. That's the work we have done so far on that. By and large, our registrations are in place now, and we solicit businesses from members of council and other chemical engineers. We are open to explore possibilities in joint ventures and things like that with other members and other organizations, because we are fully prepared to do business now. Thank you very much.
Can I add 1 or 2 points?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want all of us to take example from Baba Shobo's contribution to the building fund. Baba Shobo pledged 3 million naira. He has paid 2 million naira. That 2 million naira came from the sale of his shares. He sold shares to garner that 2 million naira. You should have such inspiration from him so that we all contribute, no matter how small it is, to that building fund. Secondly, we were at Firo yesterday. Firo has about 250 technologies projects. And the barite, for example, they work on barite. Can you people visit them there to gather some information, probably on the projects here so far with NCDMB? These are just my 2 additional points.
Well noted, sir. But let's have a demo comment on that.
On what?
Thank you very much, sir, for your comments. In the NCDMB project, we already have the report of the FIRO work. It's one of our resource materials.
Okay, good.
We have reports from FIRO, RMRDC, and NEITI. Thank you, sir.
Good.
Thank you very much. We are now on to committees. We would like to call.
Excuse me. Hello?
Chairman,
Yes,
phone on.
Yes, I'm just thinking. The NVL management staff, is there any compensation for them? Because you cannot expect to make money when you don't pay the people making money. At least give them some bonus. And since this is the council, I think we should, let's be factual. Let's be real.
No.
Please, Adeyemo has not spoken to me, so it's not. I'm just thinking, if you want money, you spend money to make money.
Yeah. The more money he brings, the more he gets. Actually, I mean, as part of the NCDMB project, of course, they have their own. MVL has their own share, but most of what they get from that is coming back to the secretariat because they are heavily indebted to the secretariat. so we are taking back what we gave them, but nevertheless, they are also owing us. I mean, we are also owing in some of the services they are rendering, particularly on the building side. So really, they have money in NSChE. The more money they make, the more they will get out of it.
I don't know why you say you have money. They are getting paid individually, or MVL owes money or making money.
So,
no. We are supposed to make money, certainly, and that's why we have repeatedly saying that. Look, what we want to do is really to set MVL and propel it into a world-class consulting outfit, and we are beginning to go into that through the NCDMB project, most especially. So the better we do on the NCDMB, I'm sure we'll get MVL propelled into so many other activities.
Mr. President.
Yes,
please,
sir.
let us talk straight to this,
yes,
propelling and so on. I don't understand.
Yes, sir.
Are the individuals going to get rewarded or not?
So the individuals are rewarded. Every resource used on a project is priced
rewarded.
Paid.
Yes, it's rewarded.
Every resource
okay, all right, okay, fine.
Yes,
all
yes.
Right.
Is
In
priced
fact,
paid.
they are already they already know what to expect from from this project.
I didn't know.
Everybody is fully rewarded. The only thing
fine, that is fine. That is okay.
The only comment I added was that what is rewarded to MVL substantially is coming back to
No, I'm talking of individuals. I wasn't talking of MVL.
Yeah, sure, they are rewarded.
Okay, then that's fine. Okay.
Okay, if I may add to this conversation, my personal experience working with MVL on the NCDMB project is that MVL, as currently staffed, is not in a position to really carry out serious consultancy work for the industry, because who are in the MVL? It's only Engineer Adeyemo that I know probably has a secretary. That's all. So if we are looking for opportunity for MVL to take active role in consultancy, we need to look at the staffing arrangement, agree those who should be probably the core staff that you have, minimum core staff that you have at any given time to be able to attract projects, and then we supplement with freelance members of the society. But as it is now, it's only Adeyemo and a secretary that I know. So we should not be kidding ourselves that MVL is set up for consultancy.
No, the statement for his visa.
So over to the MP will take note of it.
Yeah, I think you take note.
Hello.
Disclosing a full-blown business plan is not appropriate at this meeting.
Thank you very much, sirs. I think the current NVL model is leaning heavily on the membership in order to be able to do some consultancy work. The NVL has presently constituted as a board, and most of the members of this board also help in doing work, albeit pro bono as it is now, in the fact that really there's no money. We are trying to establish a framework and a foundation for a better, a more prosperous organization in the future. In the past, we had toyed with the idea of employing 1 or 2 or 3 people, but we found out that after a couple of months or so, we'll be strained to pay salaries, especially when there's no work, little or no work coming in. So we now resolved that the better way or the better plan is to be lean in terms of employment and fall back on resource persons within the society who can help us grow our objectives. But as we go along, we're already picking up, we are seeing the signs, and as we go along, we'll be strengthening the structure as we go along. That's the plan. Thank you very much for your concern, sir. We try to make sure that every work we do, we make sure that the resource persons are paid appropriately. Thank you very much.
All right. No, I think your strategy is fine. You don't go and don't take people when you cannot pay them. You just go contract by contract, get the best consultant you can from among members wherever and pay them for the project on project by project. That's the only way to survive.
Okay. Thank you very much. We are now to committee reports. So I'll now call on past President Dr. Irene to please give the IEC report. Thank you. Please unmute. Dr. Irene should please unmute and present the ISA report. Thank you.
Please, can you put up the report?
Okay, you know, it's already on the screen, please. Or you can't see it.
No, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, let me do it again. Can you see it now?
Nope. So, there's something wrong.
Okay.
Nothing yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Need to open it.
It is on, but it's on the side. It's on the side.
Yes.
It's on the side.
Yeah, okay. No, they just share. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Can you scroll it up a little bit, please?
Scroll it up.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, President and distinguished members of Council. This is the report of the International Affairs Committee for the third quarter of this year. Nothing has changed in terms of membership of the committee, still a 10-man squad. We had one formal meeting during the month, during the period in the month of September. But as usual, the work of the committee continued virtually throughout the quarter with a continuation of and pursuit of the various activities we're interested in. The key issues we were involved in during the period were Process Safety Initiative of Nigeria, then affiliation with AICHE, then NSChE relations, then the International Conference on Refining Petrochemicals and Gas, and then some input into the forthcoming conference of the society. In respect of PSIN, one new member joined during the quarter, namely Ardova PLC, AP. That's a successor company to African Petroleum and Forte Oil. They joined us during the quarter, bringing the total number to 7, inclusive of NSChE. The numbers are slowly crawling up. We're still working hard to enlist more companies, especially the international oil companies. We had one plenary meeting of PSIN during the month in August. And we're deliberating on proposals have been made, have been tabled, and are being discussed and finalized on the structures and organs of the association or the organization. Now on AICHE, we've been bogged down a little bit on extension of the student affiliation program to other student groups in other universities, having succeeded with OAU and University of Lagos. The sticking point is that AICHE requires a staff advisor who is a faculty of that department and also a member of AICHE. And that combination is very difficult. And we're still discussing, engaging with them on how best that situation can be managed. If we can find a solution that is a win-win for both parties. We haven't quite got there. But it's cheering to know that the OAU Students Chapter won a competition, an AICHE competition for students, I think about 2 months ago. So that is good news for Nigeria and for NSChE. Now, the CCPS safety webinar for Africa held on October 5. That's earlier on this week. We did receive the invitation to participate, and many of our members actually did participate. And I believe that all those who joined would attest that it was a very rewarding experience. Now, we're proposing a meeting with the Minority Affairs Committee of AICHE on the sidelines of their forthcoming annual conference in Boston, first week of November, to further explore issues of mutual interest and areas of cooperation. I may also say that I'm highly honored to have been nominated for the award of the Henry Brown Award of the Minority Affairs Committee on their 30th anniversary, on the occasion of their 30th anniversary in November this year. And that is in recognition of the role I have played in trying to bring advance the cause of chemical engineering and to bring Nigerian and US chemical engineers together. So they've invited me to come and receive the award in November, and I intend to be there. Then the incoming president of AICHE, who's going to take office in January, is Dr. Christine Grant, a Black American and female. She's going to be the first female Black American in that position. She's also very interested in fostering relationship with the NSChE. So we're looking forward to using that platform to further foster and deepen the relationship between us. Now, not much has happened on the NSChE front. Initially, we were stalled by the prolonged lockdown in UK earlier on this year. When they got back to work, we found out that they're back on another bout of restructuring, especially focusing on the international activities, and which is the area that affects us. So for as long as they are restructuring there, it's obvious that they're going to be incapacitated in terms of any initiative. So there hasn't been any development at all on the NSChE front, very unfortunately, in the last 1 year, not just even the last quarter. Now, the International Conference on RPG, again, this is not a very happy story. If we recall, we had a very good outing in November last year, a very good, vibrant seminar, and very well subscribed, and very good communique ensued from it, and it was properly canvassed. And we had hoped that we're going to ride on the momentum generated to have a repeat outing this year. But unfortunately, we couldn't put it together, mainly because the chairman of the organizing committee, who is also the director of the University of Port Harcourt Center for Gas Refining and Petrochemicals, was unable to reassemble his team and get going, despite reminders and proddings, even from the chairman of his center, who happens to be a member of our committee and the deputy national president of the society. So unfortunately, we had to stand down the seminar for this year, and but unfailingly, we believe it's going to take place next year, with or without the director of the center. Now, on the NSChE conference, I interface with the conference, and it's include and are putting in place arrangements to have a brief goodwill message from AICHE at the conference gala night, which will mark the 50th anniversary of our society on November 11th. That is on the way. Also, we engaged with the US chapter and MAC of AICHE, and they're putting up a couple of papers in selected sub-theme areas of our conference to also make presentations at the conference, and that's, we believe, will enrich our deliberations. In addition to that, the members of the US chapter and MAC are being sensitized and encouraged to join the conference, since it's going to be hybrid. Likewise, conversations are going on with contacts in the Ghanaian chemical engineering community for them to also participate in the conference. We'll be in touch with the National Secretariat and the LOC in respect of this. That about sums up our report for the third quarter. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much, Past President Dr. Irene. Just like I said at the Fellows Conference earlier, this International Affairs Committee stands out, and all other committees can only emulate. Really, you are doing very well, and you are steering that committee very well. I must be speaking the minds of all council members, I'm sure. And we also see this opportunity to also congratulate you on the award that you will get. Certainly, it is something that is rewarding, and then obviously it's well expected of you, given the performances that you have been having. And then we also wish that the society is buoyant enough. I mean, we could have just sponsored somebody at least to follow you to such an award ceremony, but I don't know how we could do that. But we will try and see if we can think out of the box. At least it's worth seeing another face in addition to you at that kind of international recognition. So thank you very much once again, and we expect comments from council members. The floor is open.
Mr. President, you spoke our minds.
Thank you, Prof.
You spoke our minds. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. President, where is the award? Don't we have international members nearby that can go?
Yes, the US chapter members will be there for sure.
So I mean,
at least that will cover NSChE too.
I think we must make sure we inform them, formally and so on, and they represent us also,
Oh, Dr. Dada, who's the chairman of the chapter, is fully, yeah, but he's also a ranking member of MSc.
Okay, very good.
Mr. President, thank you very much for the very kind words. It's my pleasure, my privilege, and my delight to continue to serve the society.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. We now move on to EAC committee support. I'll now call on Professor Taiwo to please present this report. This is a network. Professor Taiwo should please present the EAC report. Please unmute yourself and then present the report, please. Yeah, I think that's right. Let me look up for him. Yeah, I saw him there just now. Okay, this is muted. Professor Taiwo, please unmute and present the report. It doesn't look like. All right. All right. Let's look at the report, which is currently displayed. As usual, the EAC met on September 7 to deliberate on the applications received, and those present are listed as numbers 1 to 10, while Professor Kumankama, the chairman, presided. Apology was from Engineer Mimirai, and those absent were also listed. So during that meeting, The following applicants were considered, and as it were, based on the admissions report for the students, 98 applicants were actually considered, and they were found to be okay. So the prayer to council is that we are requesting that these 98 student applicants, as recommended above, should be approved. 98 student applications to be approved as recommended. Approved. Thank you very much. On the associate, we had 4 candidates. So we are requesting that these were actually found to be qualified and recommended for admission. So please, council should approve these 4 associate applicants as recommended. Thank you. Graduates, only 1 application was received, and it was found to be, it was recommended. So please, we are requesting the council should approve. Thank you. The corporate, we had 24 applicants. They were all found to be suitable, and we are requesting that this should be approved also. Thank you. So there was a review of the student membership form, and that required some modification. That has been considered. We just wanted to report it as just for completeness to council that is going to happen. So thank you very much. Those are the applicants, and we thank you for approving their these recommendations, as it were. Thank you very much. So we'll now move on to the next.
Sorry, please, one comment, one question.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, can I go on, sir?
Why, sir?
Please, it will be very interesting to see the trend for the year. How many, for example, particularly the corporate members, how many did we admit last time, and so on and so forth? Now we have admitted 24. How many did we admit the last quarter, and so on and so forth? I'm sure this should be of interest to us, because we reject something on admissions, and we want to see if it's working or not.
Okay.
Already we can see that in terms of income, about 50-something came from fellows and only 47. And it used to be much more skewed to the fellows before. I think the skew is being changed now. Just want us to see, if the secretariat has those figures right now, they can give to us. If they don't, by the next council meeting, we want to see that trend.
Actually, there's an annual report where all this will be tabled, so we'll see the trend. But it's been about 20-25 range for each of the quarters. So the total number is about, I think, 86 or 90, thereabout. So, but there's an annual report where this will be tabled on quarterly basis, and we'll see the trend, as it were.
Thank you.
Please, MP, I also have a comment on this. It's good to see that we have a healthy flow of new memberships into the society, but I also worry. I'm also concerned that these new entrants must be fully engaged. They must participate, not just having the paper of being members of the society. In other words, how do we ensure that they get involved in chapter activities and sectoral group activities? I'm not so sure I see any requirement for belonging to a chapter or sectoral group in the application form for members, especially for corporate membership and maybe graduate membership. Maybe we need to address that. These are ways of encouraging people to be active, not just to be nominal members. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Dr. Irene, you are very apt again on this. What are two things actually? Professor Adefila's comment is taken, and I think part of the report all the time should be to give us a trend, not only just to give us what has been admitted. And so with these admissions, we are now here, and here we were years back, and this is what we expect, so that you can see the trend very clearly. As for Dr. Arine's comment, of course, yes, one of the things that we even charge the chapters, I remember at our meeting with them, is this making sure that new admissions are engaged, and they must belong to at least one committee or one sectoral group. But I think we need to amend the form of the admission to reflect that going forward. It is very key really to have them not only members, because people just come in and take membership of the association just for the purpose of it and then forget it. But they must be seen to be active in the chapters and the various sectoral groups or committees, as the case may be. Thank you very much.
Sorry, MP, before you amend the form, is it the horse before the cart or the cart before the horse? Won't you become a corporate member before you get active in chapter activities?
But you can indicate which chapter you belong to, and I believe there are ways of sensitizing them on the need to be active in chapters.
I think it's probably when they are signing the membership oath of membership. Yeah. That's why it should be indicated. Okay. For the best of my knowledge, a lot of these members actually are applying through their various chapters, because I do receive calls from people who want to register, and then I refer them to the chapter chairpersons, and so they normally come through various chapters in terms of signing their forms.
Okay, IPP, that's happening, and that's really what I wanted to hear. But also, in terms of the application process, I think there must be something either on the form or the explanations for the form, something that lets them know that they're expected. That is actually mandatory to belong to a chapter and to belong to a sectoral group.
And that's what I said we emphasize to the chapter chairman, because really the drive of membership should come from the chapters. And that is what we emphasized the last meeting we had with them. Now, look, it's not only just getting people, but getting active members as well. Yeah.
So this information will be passed on to the ESA, and appropriate action will be taken. So we now move on to membership committee quarterly report. I will now call on Engineer Mrs. Olarontoba to please present her report. Thank you. Mrs. Olarontoba, please unmute and present the report.
Thank you. Good afternoon, National President and distinguished council members. The report as shown on the screen is for the third quarter of the year. And it has shown, I'm just going to give a brief summary of what the report is all about. Firstly, we've been having our meeting for some time now. And one of the extracts from the meeting that we held last time was yes. Hello? Can you hear me now?
Are you at the wedding ceremony or?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Hello, we are hearing you, please.
We are hearing you.
A noise coming from the background.
Exactly. Noise coming from somewhere.
Okay, from the extract of the last meeting that was held, we agreed that we are appealing to the council to look into the issue of the student body of the society by helping us to resuscitate them, because from the list of membership that we have for this particular committee, we realized that there's no student representative in that membership list. So we are now appealing to the council to help us look into it. And at the time I tried to ask from some people, they said it's been on hold for some time now. So we are appealing to council members to help us look into that issue. Another thing that was considered in our last meeting is about the student and young graduate engineers during the NSChE conferences. We realized that we've not been having separate sessions for them. And from my little experience in the NSC and some other divisions that I belong to, I think it really be a good idea if you can have a separate session for the students during our conferences, so that issues pertaining to peculiar to them, pertaining to them can be discussed, and for them to have a really nice time amongst themselves. So we're kind of appealing to council to help us look into that issue. Though I know that we have about 1 month left before the conference now, but if you still permit us to organize such a session for them, I think that will be possible from our own hand. Then issues on membership drive was being discussed, and I think a lot of it has been said during this particular council meeting. Then another thing that we discussed again was the privilege of industrial attachment placement for student members. We're looking at a way of encouraging student membership. That one thing that we can do as a society is to try and encourage them. Maybe when a student gets to part 4 of his course of study, we can discuss with people that are highly placed in the society to help us look for industrial attachment to them. Those are for student members. This we feel will gear them up into becoming student members of the society. Then another thing that was discussed again has to do with membership drive, and I think a lot of it has been discussed in this particular council meeting that is ongoing. So far, we have still been meeting through Zoom, and we're still going to continue doing that to look into the other areas of terms of reference for the committee. I think with all this one, I wish on behalf of members of the committee, thank the council for giving us the opportunity to serve the society in this capacity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Council members, there are some about 3 or 4 issues. Comments from you. Any comments on the report?
Yeah, my national president, members of council, I'm a member of that committee, so the position presented is what it is. But my interest is in the industrial attachment to 400 level students. Presently, I have more than 50 applications from the 2 universities that are in my chapter, that is Akwa Ibom State University and University of Uyo. And although we try to develop a robust relationship with few process industries that are around, but it's quite very difficult to get 2 or 3. Maximum they take mostly from us, maybe it's 2 or 3, and then they are less than 10 process industries around here. So it's a big challenge for us. So I want council to take it as an issue of concern to see how we can get these young chemical engineers in the making to get place of attachment. Because if it's difficult for them to get attachment, what's the hope of securing a job thereafter? So this is one critical issue as a chapter, as a council, as a body, we need to do to give these guys a sense of belonging and get them more involved in activities of the profession. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. President, can I come in here, please, Irina? Yeah, Mr. President. Mr. President. Hello?
It's not on the microphone.
Okay, anyway, I have a couple of comments on this. I thank the chairman of the committee for a very good report. The issue of having a program for students during our conferences is a very important one. We had sorted it out some years ago, and we used to have some parallel events for students. Sometimes the national president found time to even address them, and they had fulfillment in participating in the conferences. And we also had a streamlined procedure for admitting students from the various schools. So they had representatives and ensured that the conference was not flooded by students. Over the years, I think that has been eroded or dissipated or whatever. And again, it brings me to the point, the beauty of having a template for organizing conferences. I set that up, we had it working, and somehow we walked away from it. I would like to urge the National Secretariat to ensure that this template is in place and it's complied with by every successive LOC. It's very, very helpful. It's not a rigid one. We can always amend, add and subtract as things unfold, but it's good to have a template to work to. It guides any incoming LOC. And if we're working to it, I'm sure we wouldn't have lost the tradition of having a program for students. As it is now, and I'm not sure whether you can actually fit in a program for students for this year. I'm a believer that when you want to do something, you should do it properly. And the best thing would be for us to skip it for this year and make sure that it's factored into the plans for next year's conference. Then on the issue of IT for students, that's another burning issue. It affects us in chemical engineering, and actually it's a problem across the board. Personally, I believe that the CWE scheme is up for complete review and restructuring. And I just hope that the competent authorities will understand that, especially maybe we need to sensitize NSChE and current, especially current, on the imperative of having the CWEs reviewed completely. But having said that, I also feel that, I mean, just like our colleague pointed out, it has so many applications from Akwa Ibom State, and there are very few places. What that is telling us is that we have too many students in the chemical engineering schools. And one of those, I've never stopped to talk about it. The classes are overpopulated in most of the schools. In some departments, you have 100 students in a class, 120, 150 students. I mean, it's atrocious. You can't have good training for those students. The faculty cannot cope, if we want to be honest to ourselves. And what is more, you can't even get placements for them for industrial training. So we must put on our thinking caps. It's disservice to the profession of chemical engineering to push out students who are half-baked, and all of them, and most of them not having any hope or opportunity of finding gainful employment in anything remotely near to chemical engineering. So I throw it back to our colleagues in the academia. They must find a means of pushing back and protecting the profession by ensuring that the numbers in the classes are limited to what they can cope with. The numbers they can give proper training, proper supervision, proper monitoring until they graduate, and they're quality graduates. That's my contribution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Dr. Irine.
Yeah, Mr. President, I have a question, please.
Yeah, go ahead. That
Onugu is my name.
Onugu.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
okay.
Yeah, you see, many of these industries actually that would have accommodated our students are no more. But the ones that are still in existence, it's not that they are not ready to absorb these students. But the problem is, the financial commitment. And I know that in my own time, we had this, I think, industrial training fund or something like that, that was taking the burden from these industries. So my question now is this industrial training fund still existing?
Answer that question straight away, because I run a company and I make annual subscriptions to ITF. It's mandatory and we pay. But to be honest with you, I don't see any value from that payment. I just pay it because it's mandatory, and I don't want people to come harassing us. But these are the reasons I say that it's imperative that the entire CWE scheme needs to be reviewed. Because even companies that should be given the kids opportunities, all heights, they renege, for one excuse or the other. I mean, even if you don't see any direct benefit to your company for that, there has to be corporate social responsibility. And that's the way I situate that, training of the young kids as part of corporate social responsibility, because we must be responsible for Nigeria of the future. But a lot of companies don't see that. And that's why I think a complete restructuring of CWES, it beckons on us. Yeah, ITF is not fulfilling its role, I can assure you, even though it exists.
All right, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So, yes, Mr. President, it's always been an issue that should be engaged. I don't know whether at the level of NSChE or current. I think preferably current. But what is obvious is that companies can't make double payments. Companies pay to ITF, and ITF is supposed to reimburse for industrial attachment. But the ITF collects the money and the politicians divert it. Yeah. So that's companies are reluctant to pay twice. So it is us and current that ITF is punishing. And I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised even if the ITF DG is not an engineer. I'm sure he will be an engineer.
No, I don't think so.
They usually are. They usually are.
I think it's
so.
She is. It's expected. That's what I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we should write. First is to engage the. Thank God the president, Mr. President, we have started engaging with the heads of departments. So maybe we should consolidate our approach through discussing with the heads of departments, so that we can use it to link up with current and then confront ITF in that respect, so that it's only us that can force ITF to do the statutory responsibility, because ITF is set up under a law and they shouldn't deviate from the law that set them up. So I think it's not an issue of saying we're admitting too many young people, we're doing that and all that, even though a number of students you admit should be aligned to an overall national development objective. But we shouldn't blame the young people who are looking for admission and who are qualified for it. We must confront at the policy level, because it's a policy issue. It's a government policy that will upskill the incoming youths for jobs, to be able to do their job. So I believe if we discuss it with the HODs, and we'll find a way to approach and attract the interest of current so that we can confront ITF. And from that, we will know how to handle it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, IPP. I mean, this topic is, we can go on and on and on and on and discuss. I can remember early part of the year, I think, there was one of the workshops by one of the sectoral groups. I can't remember, or it is a chapter where we had a lecture from Koren or someone like that, that generated this debate really between the capacity of the faculties themselves, because the fact remains that they don't have the capacity for the number of people that they admit. That is one thing. And then also someone even went further to say, look, how many chemical engineers do we even need in this country? Has anybody sat down and made a focus of what we need, and also now look at what we are bringing out, and so on and so forth. And then also there was this discussion about ITF not capable financially, according to them at that time, not capable of even paying those stipends for the as me and you enjoyed those days. So I don't know how we'll handle this, but one thing is that the interface with the HODs is one. But we have to find a way of escalating this to Koren as well, because Koren is the one that should be talking to ITF on behalf of all the other engineering disciplines. It's not only chemical engineering that's suffering this. I'm sure the mechanical is even also getting the same thing. Yeah, at that discussion, what I even understood, even though it didn't come out clearly, that they are even developing a bypass to the requirement of the industrial attachment. I don't know really how far it is, but really it's a bit, yeah. Somebody say something.
No, I said Nigeria.
Yeah, there is a bypass to that requirement. Yeah, I mean, so, but I don't know really. It's a big issue. It's a big issue really. But we'll take it from those three angles. One, of course, our interface with Koren. Then two is the interface we have with the HODs. But number three, I don't know how we will tackle that, because as a society too, we need to have a kind of a focus to say, really, this country, what do we need to even turn out every year as chemical engineers? Correct. I don't know how we will tackle that aspect, but it's also key, really, because you cannot start telling people that you don't have the capacity for 100 students. When you don't even know what they should even turn out. We cannot be talking to them to limit their admissions if we don't have such statistics to display.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Prof.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Prof,
I'm sure all of us know that this is a very, very critical issue. And Mr. President, you will remember that it's one of the factors which the fellows confab took on, a few days ago. We know that there is no doubt SciWes was started by chemical engineering in this country. So we are more concerned than any other professional groups. So we should be concerned. But I'm also concerned that there are some things which we are taking up now. I'm sure Mr. President knows that each year we make sure that we walk the top of our of the theme of the conference. That is not small. We are doing that. We know that we have all said that where we should really have directed this thing to should have been Koren. But I know, and Dr. Nene, we agree with me on this, because we are together on a committee, an academy, which is taking up technical and vocational education generally. We know that all over the country, a lot of things are being discussed now. And I know that within the next 2 to 5 years, the solution must be found out. ITF, we mentioned ITF and NDE. A lot of money is going to ITF and NDE, and we are not seeing anything. And yet, technical and vocational education is going down. We know that SciWes is supposed to improve the practical experience of our students. So it's not too far from this skills acquisition of a theme. So people are challenging NYC now. When NYC was established, it was established so that we could mix up together and so on and so forth. There is no doubt that right now there are other things which help us to mix much more than that time. So the money which is being spent in IT, in NYC, in ND, in ITF, could easily be mopped up and used for something else, which we include this something which we are taking up. We know that we are talking with, say, the MBT, for example, which is in charge of technical and vocational education, but they are only addressing the technical. They are not addressing the vocational, and so on and so forth. So I would want us to just leave this a little bit so that we can concentrate our efforts on other issues which you are taking up. We are taking up some other things with man and past. I don't know whether the next will be women and all those kind of things, so that we don't take up too many things at the same time. This is my own suggestion. I'm saying that even though chemical engineering started this, yes, we should be more concerned than anybody else, but we have so many things on our hands. So many things on our hands, and we are adding to them each time. We've discussed so many things today, which, don't let's have too many things on our hands. So
yeah, thank you very much, Prof.
Thank
you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. But you know, as a professional society, really, I look at this akin to an emergency room where you have had a crash, and then the emergency room is full of victims of one thing or the other, and that is what it is today. As chemical engineers, there are so many things. The elements is all over. Manufacturing is dying. Students are not getting quality education. They are not getting industrial training. They are not getting employed. In fact, the things are so many. So really, that doctor in that emergency room, what does he do? I mean, will he say, no, this one is dying, let him die? Or really, we just have to find a way of getting some of the things, even if we don't get to the bottom of them. This is an issue, really. I mean, we can still interfere. We are within the things that are within our own influence, we will do it. Interfacing with the HODs, we will do. Interfacing with current to go and do all those things so that they can take it up with ITF, we would do. And I don't know, we will also seize the opportunity to use some of the fellows that we have in those institutes. I don't know, I mean, I saw Professor Bugaje's name in one of these institutes. I can't remember now. Is it National Board of Technical Education or something?
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So those are the kind of opportunities, things that are within our cycle of influence. We will still try and do what we can do, but we cannot ignore them. Yeah.
But MP, can I make a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
So what you said about having a go at the kind of quantum of chemical engineers we require every year, maybe for the next decade or the next 2 decades. Makes a lot of sense. That's the way professional societies internationally function, and I think we should task the Professional Affairs Committee to have a go at that. That's going to be the first. That's going to be the first attempt. It might not be perfect, but we'll start from somewhere. And I think the Professional Affairs Committee is the organ that can grapple with such a thing.
Okay, sir. I think we have said a lot on this topic, but it's a very interesting topic. So, somebody,
I think you have captured it.
As a last comment.
Yes.
I want to suggest that one thing that we could also advocate is, while we are looking for forecasts of how many chemical engineers are required, in order to improve the quality of chemical engineers coming out of the school, we can insist that the school should only take the number they could really manage very well. Yes. The situation where we have overcrowded classroom, overcrowded everywhere, is not helping matters. So let them start by taking only those they could train properly.
Yes. Exactly. That's why our interface with the HODs will come in handy. So let's please, if I can get the council, let's reach a landing on this. It has 2 main issues. One is the professional committee to look at this academic exercise of making from forecast, looking at the past and then looking at years ahead of what do we really need in this country and why should we be turning out. Then the other one boils down on the executive, that's the board led by the NP, in liaising with the HODs and the Koren specifically. Professor Adefila, we will not throw it away, but I can assure you we will not take the efforts of other assignments that we have taken to be punished because we have taken another assignment on board. Thank you very much. So I think with that we can make progress on to the next item.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to the item that we skipped before because we didn't have the presenter. We would like to welcome Dr. Ideko from all the way from Ekwe, in spite of all the problems on the way to have reached this place safely. You are welcome. We have actually apologized that Professor Bello is unable to come, so that you will present the LOC reports to Council. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Not to waste any of our time, let me quickly go through the LOC report. So we had 4 meetings during the period, while the subcommittees had several meetings, both through physical meetings and virtual meetings. So one of the highlights of this report is that the conference program has been amended for some reasons and for better implementation of the conference program. So we have a new program which we also sent with this report. So I would like us to share it so that we can quickly look at the program. So the program will start on Wednesday, 10th November 2021. Arrival of participants between 9 and 16, 10 to 11, visit to the governor, 10 to 18 hours golf tournaments. Of course, some of those activities will be overlapping. Then 12 to 1 registration for conference. And in fact, registration will have to continue till something around 12 to 17. Then 16 to 17, there will be press conference, and then later in the day, we have a cocktail. So for the second day, Thursday, 11th, 9 to 11, we have technical session 1, followed by tea break, then opening ceremony, lunch, and technical session 2. And of course, there will be parallel sessions too, with this technical session 1 and session 2. Then on Friday, we have in the morning, we have the technical session 3, then followed by tea break, then technical session 4, 2. Then for the lunch, it will be, it's going to be 13:30 to, that is 1:30 to 15 to 3 o'clock for the lunch. So for Muslim faithful members, they also use that period to attend to go to mosque. So those people that are not going to mosque, we have their lunch first. So those other ones that went to mosque will now join later for the lunch. So after that, we now have our AGM. So the AGM was initially on Saturday, but because of the fact that the LOC look at the fact that if you are to go for industrial visits on Saturday, industrial visit was initially on Friday. So notice that it will not be possible. Then we later put it on Saturday morning. Then we notice that to go to that area, then go to the area at that electrical side, it is going to actually take almost a day. We look at even using a boat, so it will not be possible because there is no place for us to bat the boat. So what's the essence of now taking a boat to that? And that is going to pass through the IC. And well, I don't know, not many of our members want to enter both. That's another issue. So, so eventually we now settled that. In fact, that's brought the total arrangement of what you have for the program, so that we now move the AGM to Friday. So we now have our AGM between 3 to 5 on Friday. So after the AGM, we now have our gala night. That is our anniversary session. So that is more or less celebrating our 58th anniversary, the Golden Jubilee. So, and the programs for that day is stated as follows: that cocktail, technical session, and interactions with the founding members, president's speech, presentation of gifts to past presidents and members, cutting of cake, vote of thanks. So actually there is a committee that's in charge of this, and I'm happy to announce that the chairman of that committee is Engineer DMO. So, and I believe it's going to deliver that special program for us. So on the Saturday, we have the industrial visits to Dangote Refinery, and those that are not ready to go there, of course, we have limited number, and those that will not be able to make it, we either go to the other industrial areas we have in Lagos State, like Apapa, Wharf Industrial Area. Then those that want to have boat ride can go ahead, and if they are just for sightseeing, they can also go ahead. So they have the Saturday for that. So by the time we return back, because going to Dangote alone, we take hours, and going over there, it take hours, and coming back is more or less like a whole day. So we now retire back to have our annual conference dinner. So by the next Sunday, the next day, which is Sunday, will now be into passion. So that is the new program that the LOC is now presenting. I believe the chairman of the LOC has discussed this with the president before. So thank you, sir. So moving from there, we have another important committee, which is very germane.
Mr. President, can we discuss the program before we go on to other aspects, please?
Okay.
Yeah, may I suggest? Okay, yeah. My comment is that looking at the program, we have to be extremely lucky to be able to deliver. It looks extremely tight, really very tight. For instance, I see that on the Thursday, we're intending, which is the first full day of the conference, we're intending to stretch the technical session 3 or so up till 6, up to 7 p.m. My suspicion is that by the time it's 7 o'clock, you'll be speaking to empty halls. We need to be careful about that. People would have been up since 9 o'clock, and by 7, I don't think there'll be people in that hall. So we need to take care of that. Then I see that we're allowing for 2 hours for the AGM and 1 hour for the gala. Again, are we certain we can deliver the AGM in 2 hours? Maybe the ES can confirm for us based on our recent past experiences. And I don't see how we can do the gala in 1 hour. The gala is to feed the society for coming of age after 50 years. I guess there must be a fairly elaborate program of events, and I doubt if 1 hour is enough time for such a program. But I stand to be corrected. These are just my concerns and my comments. Thank you.
Please, may I suggest that the AGM should be less than 1 hour, and the gala night should be about 4 hours. How can we wait 50 years? I only just celebrate for 1 hour. It doesn't make sense.
Well, it is more than that. We have another program for the gala night, so it's not just an ordinary cocktail.
Yes. Chairman LOC, can I make a comment, please?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm in support of what the two other speakers have said. So I'm looking at that launch on Friday. That launch on Friday, since it is social, can we just go straight after the technical session? Can we just go straight to the annual general meeting and put that food into, as part of the celebration?
No.
The AGM has also taken care of the people going to.
I hope I'm understood, please.
I mentioned that the AGM has taken care of the launch has taken care of people going to the mosque. So then for the actually, sir. Yeah. So for the AGM, for the AGM, well, probably we might still leave it like that, but in other aspects, maybe can extend the time of the gala night.
Of course,
so,
we need to.
Yes,
exactly.
So
the gala night has to be at least 3 hours.
It's extended.
We can extend the time.
Yes.
But my problem is that what that gala night, I can tell you.
No. There's going to be technical session.
There's going to be a
technical session. And so let me go over what we have. We have technical session interactions with the founding members. The founding members, so there is going to be a sort of stage in which we have some of our founding members on stage, and they will be interacting with us and discussing some of the things they have done, and people will be asking questions. That's why, yes. So
problem is that your program says 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. for everything.
And we have taken, so that's what we said it.
No, that's what I was trying to explain.
We are trying to explain.
No,
okay.
There's a small mistake there.
Okay.
There's a small mistake in the program. The 18 hours and 19 hours is actually supposed to be either off to start the program if the AGM should extend beyond 17 hours. But the old gala night is scheduled between 2 and 3 hours to finish it. That's the plan. That's the plan.
Okay.
But what's on Friday?
Yes. That's what we are saying.
So we can plan for it from 6:30 to 9 p.m. That might be a good compromise. 6:30 to 9 p.m. for the gala night.
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
The time allowed for the AGM.
No, we actually mentioned it now that, sir.
That's okay.
What is this?
Okay, we should reduce it to 1 hour.
No, we can't deliver it in 1 hour.
We can't deliver AGM in 1 hour.
No.
But we will try. Can't deliver AGM in 1 hour.
AGM is.
So let us leave it like that.
It's not supposed to be a long affair. AGM is
2 hours.
Then we can start the gala at 6.
6, exactly.
Gentlemen, I believe that the minimum we have to try to fit the AGM into a maximum of 2 hours to make sure we have a meaningful meeting. I also feel that we need to leave room for about 1 to 1.5 hours after the AGM to start the gala night. People need to go out back and refresh. The hall has to be reset and things like that. So that's why I suggested we have the AGM till 5. Then we can have the gala night starting at 6:30. And 6:30 will be meaningful. And then till 9. That would be my suggestion. You know?
Excuse me, what are we doing on Saturday? The annual conference dinner. Is that different from gala night?
Oh,
it's
yes.
Different, sir. It's different, sir.
The dinner is at what night?
It's different, sir.
On Saturday,
yes, sir.
On Friday.
Yes, sir.
But why?
There is a celebration of the golden.
The Friday,
yes.
The gala night is specifically for the celebration of the baby.
It's a golden.
That's why we're inviting our founding fathers and members.
I see.
We just
that seems. I think the gala night should appear on Saturday. It's a separate. The annual conference dinner is normally to be our gala night. The anniversary session, well, there's a different matter. We are going to have technical session. What are we going to speak on those days?
It's not the technical session you have there. It's not that somebody will be presenting paper in such a way. It's just a discussion by the family members. So, and you know, some of our fathers questions. So, and some of them end up discussing technical issues.
I think we should remove technical session from there.
No, it's not.
Just say the night of founding members.
Or reminiscence or something like that, you know.
Yes, just remove technical session. So we don't.
Okay, so we leave it with interactions with the founding members.
Exactly. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir.
Yeah.
Just remove technical session from
there.
That
technical sessions is misleading.
Yes. And that one should be. I think that should probably be about. That night should be about 2.5 to 3 hours. Not 1 hour is too short. If that is.
We have extended this, sir.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And on Saturday.
Noted, sir.
Hello, LOC chairman. On Saturday, probably because we have a full stomach last night, we will not have any meal until at night.
Okay, for Saturday, we have taken care of that. So everything is taken. We don't want to put lunch, this and that on the program. So we have taken care of that.
Okay.
So on the side, the past president mentioned one issue pertaining to technical session on Thursday. Where you have that technical session too. Actually, the plan of the committee is that there is likely going to be some of the presentation and some of the technical sessions that are going to probably be virtual. So not that we are looking at that aspect to see how we are going to incorporate it into it so that people can probably stay in their rooms or whatever and they will now enjoy the session.
Okay. All right. Just bear in mind that it's unlikely you can get attention of people in the hall up to 7 p.m. Yeah.
If I may add, sir, the provision till 7 p.m. is just a provision. The technical subcommittee right now are still tinkering with the arrangement. So we just allocated the spot to them. What happened in actuality was that as at the cutoff date for submission of papers, we had very few papers, but we extended it by, I think, 3 weeks. And you know the habit of Nigerians with lastminute.com. Suddenly, from 20 papers, we had about 76.
Wow.
So right now, they are going through the papers and sifting it. Then some of the papers, some of the parallel sessions will be virtual, while some will be physical. So eventually, what we have done is to allocate that time, but they will properly work on it. So you might even have what we call a technical session 3 after a coffee break on that Thursday. So that's what we have so far.
Okay, thanks for
Thank you, sir. In addition to that, because we have already given the USA chapter the opportunity for presentation. So it might be that the USA chapter will be the one that will be presenting at that particular time, since they won't be around. Yeah. So, and there is no point just having physical present there. So people can just use their virtual means of attending to that area.
Please, on Saturday, if you are going to visit the refinery, I suggest you start at 7 o'clock. If you start at 9 o'clock, you will not get to the refinery until about 12 or 1.
Wow.
Yes. So
actually, the time we have here is the time we get there, not the time we leave. We leave.
It is not correct. You should just say the time you get there. Start from 7.
Okay.
Everybody is sure. Please, because even a Saturday, getting to the refinery is at least take your an hour and a half to 2 hours.
I think it's better we put 6:30 so that.
You have to leave sharp 07 hours. Sharp, you must leave.
Thank you, sir. So we have noted all these comments and corrections.
Okay. All right.
So then the next important committee is that of finance. So headed by our able past president, Abo Gunye. As the chairman of the committee, he has continued to raise the bar of the members' contribution. Members are still contributing towards the seed money. More than 128 fellows have contributed now. And as at yesterday, we have, even with the sponsorship and donation now, so the committee has raised up to 24.3 million naira. So we actually and sincerely appreciate Professor Ogunye for his personal involvement in this, and also appreciate other members too. Then Alhaji Aliko Dangote has personally approved the Saturday 13 industrial visit to Dangote Refinery. So, courtesy of our past president, Engineer Chuyode. So, the submission of papers ended last month, and technical committee has finished reviewing the papers. So, and then they've already got back to the authors. So let me just go through the attached paper for the technical committee. So on that, there even though the committee experienced delay in receiving papers for review, then we later had 52 contributed papers, and these have been reviewed, and 45 papers were accepted, while 7 papers were rejected. So all authors, both accepted and rejected, have been notified via email. So authors of accepted papers are expected to revise, update their papers based on review comments. Submit camera-ready version of their papers along with presentation slides and video or recording sites for the conference not later than 15 October. Then propose a keynote speaker and a reverse plenary speakers. 7 confirmed acceptances received. So profiles and abstract of talk requested from speakers and responses being received. Awaiting responses from the following keynote address speaker. The one from expected roles of Nigerian chemical engineers in the industrial transformation of Nigeria. Then our vice presidents have been contacted and we are getting indication that VP will attend to give the keynote address. So even though we are expecting some input from one of the directors at the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. Opening ceremony, the proposed chairman, Professor Folala Sisi, the immediate past president of Nigerian Academy of Engineering, has accepted to be the chairperson of the opening ceremony. While we have sent letter to the governor of Lagos State through Engineer Antonio. Of course, he is the chairman of the protocol committee and is also a staff of Lagos State government. As a governor of Lagos State, I been contacted and we believe that Professor Bunye is going to assist us in getting in touch with him. So NSChE president has accepted to be part of the program. Then the current president's letter through the National Secretariat is yet to respond. So far, these are some of the things that the technical presentation have done and some of the aspects of the speakers for the day of the program. So, which one, sir?
The current
President. Current. Not DG. So we believe from 15 October, we start doing other aspects that involve final presentation programs and books of abstract for the program. So thank you, sir. So the other aspects are actually the website is working. We hope members will register on time because we noticed that very few members have registered, just 24 registered so far. We have so it's just like that of the technical, yes, like the papers. It is only the last minute we see our members rushing.
I hope you are correct because I have registered. I didn't get an acknowledgement of registration. So I hope your system is capturing all those who are registering online.
It's capturing it.
I got a confirmation from Paystack.
Yes.
Oh,
okay. We look into actually. No. You have not registered. Yes. We have margined it, yes.
You know, the issue is that some people have a number of accounts. They just pay to it. Some pay it to also some pay to the National Secretariat account.
No, wait. That one we have the information that you have. We have the information. So I think there is need for us to start replying them, not just the stock.
LOC chairman.
So we have negotiated and booked the accommodation with the Federal Palace Hotel. So it should be workable and stable rates. So we've also made additional payments for the halls to the Bamora halls at Federal Palace Hotel. So we have also negotiated with the adjoining hotels so that our members will be able to have places to stay. And LOC is also working on other things like the jingle for the forthcoming, and sooner or later, the chairman of that committee, Engineer Leonard, should bring it out. Then negotiation with the Ikoyi Club for the use of the golf course for the tournaments is being finalized. So while the drive for exhibition is on, so plead for support in this area. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Please, I have one question, please.
Yes.
Do I go ahead? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, please, LOC, do we have accommodation for very few students that might want to come with us?
Please inform us on the number of accommodation you will need for the students. Then we'll make the arrangements.
Thank you very much.
No, yeah, it's asking for students. They want some students to come with them from Abuja. No, they will pay, but they will, when they notify us, we will arrange for them. Definitely.
Yes, we pay, but it's not going to be, it's just minimal payment now. You understand?
No, we will take it offline. Just notify us, and then we'll give you your options, and then you pick one.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you.
Can I also suggest something in that regard?
Go ahead.
Yeah, if I don't know Lagos very well. If University of Lagos is close to the place, we can pair the visiting students with the students of University of Lagos, so that to reduce the
COVID considerations. University of Lagos hostels are closed.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, actually, I've asked the chairman. With the missing link, which we need to confirm it, who is the chairman of the annual dinner? You know, that we need to resolve. Because the cover page of the something we need to finalize it. When are we going to get that?
As soon as they confirm they are going to.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I think we will now move on to the chapters. Whether we want to take that as read.
Yeah, we usually do. For the chapters, I mean, that's what I said at the conference. I say we usually take the reports as read, unless there is any specific item that constitute a news that any chapter wants the council to know. Then we can have few minutes for that. So the chapter chairman present, you can go in any order you people choose to, but we will not read your reports, but tell us what is of interest. But we have taken everything as read. If there is any specific item that, like I said, a news item, more or less, then you can tell us. I can hear FCT Nasarawa clearing his voice. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. In one of our technical presentations within the quarter, we listened to a very interesting paper on harnessing, harnessing the traditional chemical industry using the government platform. The paper after presentation, as we observed, will be very, very interesting to the or beneficial to the society. And the opinion of the chapter is to escalate this paper to AGM level. So we will be discussing with the organizers and see the possibility, of accommodating that paper just for about 20 minutes. There are really, really points that should be noted, by our society, to enable us get involved in the development of chemical industry in Nigeria. That is number one. Number two, we just want to point out that through our effort, we were able to get nomination from our society to participate in an interministerial committee. And I think it is our IPP that is there. Just to mention the type of effort we are making in the chapter, to the growth of our society. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and congratulations for that second part. And then the first one, you should liaise with the LOC, let them look at the already congested.
Yes, we know it's congested.
Oh, it's already having in the magazine. Yeah, you take that offline. Liaise with them and deal with that. Okay, any other chairman that wants to say something?
My MP and the members of Council, Engineer Benedict setting Aqua Cross. Benedict
go ahead.
Cross, okay.
Go ahead.
In our attempt to, increase the membership strength, in the month of May, we were in the Akwa Ibom State, University of Calabar, where we have Professor Oshe became the cell leader. Is Aqua Cross, and then the people from Cross River, the members from Cross River were not active in our activity. And then in the month of August, we were in the Eket, the home base to QIT Ibono, the terminal there at Ibono, and then we had a meeting where we encouraged members in ExxonMobil and the associate companies to be involved in our activity. Particularly, I want to propose one of the members, a staff with ExxonMobil, Engineer Chukwemeka Dimba. I don't know if we have our presidential honor or presidential handshake or whatever, Mr. President. These gentlemen have been very supportive over the years, more than 10 years consistently supporting the activities of the chapter, and then trying to sensitize his colleague there, hosting us, and doing quite a lot. I propose him for whatever you can do to encourage him to keep doing what he's doing for the chapter. And let me also commend the ES for getting us in contact with the engineer Dr. Godwin Udo. He's willing to take the first ever public lecture of the chapter. And I believe also we met with him yesterday with members of the ESCO, and we are glad with the kind of support and encouragement he wants to give us down here. That's the brief details here from Alpha Cross. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Benedict. Your request for recognition, we note that. We'll work out something along that line. Any other chapter chairman that wants to say something?
Yes, sir. I do that, sir.
No, we already go take last too. Lagos Ogun.
Thank God you're also a worry man, MP.
Mine is just going to be brief. Sorry, sir. One is that during the period under review, we lost an engineer, Mrs. Kazim. So I think it's something that, and Mrs. Kazim was the first chemical female engineer. So there's need for us to report that. So other presentation has been reported, has been sent to Secretariat. Then the other aspect, we went to Mopo Engineering Service Limited. to go and commiserate with the company. So the Mopo Nyan Services Limited is a company member, and they also got their MD, so Chief Sanusi. So we met Mr. Edward. So we presented the paper to them. So we told them that we are actually from the society, and the president's society asked us to present that paper. And in addition, we presented a plaque to them for their support to the society. So over the years, so he was very happy to even see us and receiving that plaque. So this is a highlight of our report that we need to pass across. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. We take recognition of what you just did, and we just say thank you very much, Lagos Ogun, on the demise of our fellow lady. Of course, we have passed our condolence, and then we also at the conference, fellows conference. In fact, there are about 6 members, 6 fellows that we lost within the year. We paid tribute to the departed ones. There is nothing that says we cannot do that again. May the departed souls rest in peace. Okay, any other chapter chairman that wants to say something? Other than Bendel. Other than Bendel, yeah.
Worry not about that.
Okay, so Edo Delta.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Good afternoon, National President and respected council members. The first one, we have discussed much of it today, is on members attending meetings. Because most people seek this admission letter for membership as just getting it, and they won't attend meetings and they won't participate in any activity. So I think a penalty should be, my suggestion is that a penalty should be instituted by council for members that don't attend meetings, that their certificates might be withdrawn so that they will take the membership of the society very serious. That is my suggestion, sir, on that. Then the second one is on the demise of Engineer Roque Joseph. I wrote to the ES when the news came that he died, because I checked the membership list of Do Delta. I couldn't find his name, and I have not received a reply. I followed up with a text message to ES. So I don't know the position of that, but I have written a tribute from Do Delta to the family to be included in the burial booklet. Then the third one, I need to thank the National President for attending our previous public lecture on AI in chemical engineering. National President, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me briefly ask ES to comment on the first 2 issues that you raised.
Thank you very much, Engineer Ogenova. On the first one, actually, there is a substituting paper on sanctions for those that default in payment. But what we've tried to do is to first implement for fellows. So it's going to spill into that of corporate members. So we've started more or less in a way with fellows, even though it's not yet on full implementation, but we are working on it. So it's going to, once we are through with that, we are going to go into that, those of corporate members. The other one, actually, the departed colleague actually was affiliated last with the Reef Bay, and I've got in touch with them. So what they told me was that they're going to participate in the service of songs, but the burial is going to take place in a Cross River state, so they may not be able to do that. So that's the position with the issue. But in terms of your getting in touch with me, I actually call you severally, and unfortunately, maybe it's a networking area. Thank you.
Leave that out. You can now talk to each other now. Yeah, but yes, you can also use the cross if you need something to be done in that side. You don't have to limit yourselves to Rigby. They can't hear you.
Actually, the area I want to raise to discuss something on is the students. With the issue of registration of students, maybe there is need for us to start allocating number to them. So it might not just be, even if we are not going to give them certificate or whatever, the chapters might now be using that number. They can be using the numbers based on the months or the quarters they are giving that admission. So at least that will encourage them. So it's not going to be that you are not giving certificate, and if they are going to be giving, the one given by one chapter will be different from another chapter. And what is the certificate number? There will not be number on it. So with that, that will encourage them to say that, okay, they are also part of the society.
Okay. But I think the ideal thing would be to give them certificate. Why
Yes.
can't we?
With
The
this,
ideal thing would be to give them certificate and make it a honorable thing to do.
okay, with respect to Engineer Ogenevo's comment on, clamping down on members, I know it can be very frustrating. You have 100 names in your list, and then only 12 people are appearing in the meeting. But from observation, the members' thinking is, what do I stand to benefit? They always have that at the back of their minds. And if I'm in any forum, I tell them, if you check the mission and vision of the society, it is not for you, it is for the society. So we need to work on that to change their mindset to what they are bringing to the table and not what they are going to benefit. Then probably we'll have them come for our meetings. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the chapter chairman, well, the ball is back into your court, really.
Excuse me. I think any society these days, any society these days should make society interesting.
Yeah.
Like I see some of the Nasarawa and so on are doing very interesting things that will attract members. I think other chapters should also emulate them. Somebody should go and spend his time and it's not benefiting. And with all the things going in the world today, we can start be very innovative enough to make our chapter meetings more interesting,
I agree, sir. Okay.
But it also depends on what is of interest to the people in question. Some of them are looking for material benefit, not really professional satisfaction or professional excitement. There lies the problem.
I don't know about material. I don't know.
Exactly, sir. That's the problem. Many of them are more interested in material benefit.
Okay. I don't know anything about that one.
But that's outside our purview.
It's outside our scope. Yeah.
Any other chapter, please? Before we move to AOB, then AOB now. Anybody who
Hello,
has
hello, sir.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Who am I taking on?
You
Okay,
take Dr. Irene first, sir.
Okay, Dr. Irene.
Okay. Okay, is that Mahmoud?
Go ahead,
No, sir.
Dr. Irene.
I'm here, sir.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, Mr. President, I know we had something on SGs in the agenda, but we seem to have skipped it. My interest is we need to keep tabs of development of the SGs. As will be expected naturally, all of them are not on the same footing. Some naturally will be performers and others will be laggards. But we need to have a mechanism for picking out, commending those who are doing well, and picking out those who are not doing well, interrogating their situation, finding out what is going on and how they can be helped to perform better. In particular, I may be wrong, but I have not seen any, I haven't felt the impact of the chemical products SG at all. And to me, that's a very important SG because we are trying to find our feet back in the chemical process industry. The world is in transition. Oil and gas is no longer involved. We have to claim our space in the process industry, and that SG is instrumental in that respect. So I would like to ask the ES, what is the state of affairs with the chemical products SG?
In fact, not only that, yesterday at the board meeting, we also had just similar discussion. Not only that, chemical products, IT is also yeah. So, but let me leave it to ES to comment.
Yes, in recent times, there has been a drop in the activities of some of the sectoral groups. But to go directly to the question, the chemical and chemical products, the coordinator for that group is Engineer Taiwo. If you recall, Engineer Taiwo lost the wife sometime back. Yes, he did. He did, rather. So that's actually affected his ability to, do something. But I will actually talk with him. Perhaps, maybe we need to look for somebody else in the interim to be able to move forward in that area. So detail for some other ones that we discuss this at the board. Thank you.
Okay.
In fact, now that we are on these sectoral groups, it occurred to me that we didn't hear from one of the stars of the sectoral groups. Yes, what happened to HSC? We didn't. There was no report. Doesn't mean you can connect. Because really, Mahmoud doesn't have to give you a paper.
We don't have anything to report, sir.
Yeah, but you don't.
I don't think we need to talk about HSC.
Yeah, we don't need to. We don't need to. All you need to do is just go to YouTube and enjoy yourself.
We will not leave this meeting without our HSC.
Yeah. But doesn't. But for the records, we still have to commend the HSC group definitely for
more than commendation.
Yeah, for being a star. Just as we commended the International Affairs Committee the other time. Really, it's setting up a pace. The midstream and downstream is closely following you, HSC. So just be looking at your shoulders. We expect more and more, from all those sectoral groups. Thank you very much.
So, I have something on midstream, sir. Midstream, downstream.
Yeah, that's why I said midstream and downstream is looking at HSC closely. I reminded HSC to be looking at their shoulders because somebody is following.
I have a report on that, sir. Who
is that? Williams?
No, Oganovo, sir.
Oh, Oganovo. All right.
Yes, sir. He asked me to tell the national president and council members that he's in transit. So that is why he's not in the meeting.
Yeah, but there is the option of joining us via video.
He asked me to report that a webinar or seminar was organized last month, and the topic was clean fuels and clean air. And the the guest lecturer was the deputy national president. So that is what he asked me to.
Oh, sure,
that,
sure.
That the paper is in the platform. Everybody can access it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So we are council members. We have slipped today, but we nevertheless we still can take AOB if there are any issues anybody has. Oh, AOB.
Chairman, sir.
I have one.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yeah, we have Professor Adefila.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir. Since you raised the aspect of these sectoral groups, yes, even though we have some of them on YouTube and so on and so forth, I don't know how either the editorial committee or the person in charge of the chemical process industry will see how they can pick up some papers from the sectoral groups for publication or something like that, or how the secretariat will see how we can start compiling these sectoral group papers separately. I don't know which one of these options that I mentioned we want to, because definitely there are a lot of papers there that are would be useful to people. And again, for those of us who attend, and I think that secretary should be interested, or the university should be interested to see the people they can invite for some lectures in their universities virtually.
Thank you very much. I think currently what we do, we sieve these papers and the useful ones, I mean, at least that we know. Oh yeah, no, what I mean is we actually publish in the magazine. It's just like the one that was mentioned now, that is in current magazine. So the magazine is actually using a lot of these papers at the moment, but we can do better. And then we can now start looking at whether to start compiling them and keeping them. That is, and then using them the way Prof has just mentioned. All right. But right now, what we are using them for mainly is for the publication in the magazine. Thank you.
Yeah, and then making sure that we store them electronically as well. Yeah, because
one of the things that we could also consider doing is to upload them on our website. We archive them on our website so that even later persons, they can go there and it becomes a resource so that we can enrich our website.
Actually, the facility to do that is available at the moment. We're doing that with newsletters. Maybe we can create one for these papers. It's not a problem at all. Yeah. Did you hear me, please?
We heard you. We heard you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I also comment, please, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Dr. Irene.
Yeah, these are very positive suggestions coming up. And my thinking is that we can actually task the publication committee to review all these papers from the various SGs and the chapters and to compile them into proceedings, so we can come up with a name and publish. So we can post the publication, and we can also circulate the publication, and we can pay for that through adverts. That can be an advert carrying publication. Companies and organizations owned by our members and fellows, or where our fellows are very prominent, can afford to take advert pages to publicize their activities. I think that might be a worthwhile venture. So we have another professional publication, and then we ensure that all these papers are properly captured, archived, and presented to the public and for posterity. So I think there's something.
Yeah,
we have a lot of technical sessions going on. You know.
Agreed.
Yeah. And good papers also being presented. Yeah.
So we note that as an action note.
Yeah.
Any other AOB?
Sorry, I thought, Mr. President, we will escalate this to heads of departments so that they ensure they attend, because they can find resource persons to give lectures in their universities on virtual basis.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where the HOD is a member of NSChE.
That's yeah. Okay. All right.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, just one other quick thing. I think a case, it does seem as if there are some people who belong to SGs, participate in the activities, but they are not members of NSChE. I don't know whether that issue has been dealt with, but it would be good for us to have some guidelines in order to encourage them to become members. Maybe not reject them, but at least encourage them to be members, to be able to participate in the SGs. Because you don't people shouldn't take benefit without taking responsibility.
Before ES respond, can I say something?
Yeah, Mahmoud, go ahead.
Yeah, the coordinators of the SGs, those that are active, we came together, we have a platform now among ourselves.
Fantastic.
So the discussion initially was to remove those that are not members. But after we look at it, we now decided that we could use it as an avenue to harvest membership.
Exactly.
So we've been posting membership forms for those that are not members to register. So we even tried to like a kind of fix a deadline, but we left it open for the time being. And I know there are a couple of people that are registered through that means. So any chemical engineer that come, we are looking for members now. We admit them to those groups. So as long as you are a chemical engineer, and we push for them to register. We started doing something with Victor. I don't know, maybe he has, I don't know whether he was able to include it in whatever handover notes that he prepared. He was going to review all those people on those platforms to pick out those that are not registered with the society, so that we will not be able to follow up with them on individual basis.
Okay.
So maybe we can take it up at council level now, so that the secretariat will be directed to do that. Thank you.
That's a fantastic report. But let me also say that even those who are interested in an SG activity, but they're not chemical engineers, can be encouraged to join as affiliates, because we have room for affiliates, people who work in areas, in process engineering areas, but are not formally trained as process engineers. So all is not lost. They can join as affiliates of the society and enjoy the benefits too.
Yeah, sure. All right. So
hello, NT, I have something to say.
Somebody?
Yes, sir.
With that?
Organovo, sir.
Oh, Organovo.
Right.
Yeah.
This one is on the website, because I logged into the website last month to check my financial status, but it was not well displayed. In other words, I paid for 2020, but the website is saying I'm still owing. So my suggestion is that the website should be updated so that we can see our status financially, and we can pay through the website. It's online, the way we do for Korean and NSC. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the comments. The website as it is has some issues when it comes to the financials. So what we have decided that we're going to work on it, and that is ongoing with immediate effect. So we look forward to having a good website in the next few months or so. But at the moment, fees can be paid directly to the account, like the details. And then if paid to the chapter's account, it should be remitted as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any more item?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Who is that?
Hello?
It's Mahmoud, sir.
Oh, Mahmoud, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I had some network challenges along the line. I don't know if the FCT Nasarawa chapter did a report on the public lecture we had on the Petroleum Industry Act. I want to suggest that we pick the communique and the report from that public lecture and pass it to our policy advisory committee to prepare a position paper that will submit to the two regulators. We need to do this as fast as possible, even before they settle down to business, because we'll come later and try to get them to be part of this, our PSIN. So if we are seen to be helping them to settle down and helping them do the work, perhaps the reception will get maybe better than what we've received from DPR previously. Thank you, sir.
That's a good one. We'll take that on board as one of the actionable items. So between Secretariat and FCT Nasarawa, we initiate that and then move to the committee. Go ahead. Any more? So thank you very much, distinguished council members. It has been worthwhile, even though we have gone into 3 hours instead of only 2 hours, but doesn't matter. It's a time well spent. And I believe that we have exhausted most of the issues that we had earmarked to deal with. So I will say thank you very much for those who are with us online. Thanks for your patience, because I don't know what tea and coffee that you've been having there, but I presume that you are comfortable there. For us here, I will say safe journey back to your respective places. But before that, I think we will have Mr. Adeyemo to give us a closing prayer. Okay, adjournment first before prayer. Adjournment. Okay, Dr. Seconded by DMP. Okay. Yes. Okay. So almost. Engineer Adeyemo, go ahead, please.
Shall we rise for the closing prayer? Authority in heaven, we glorify your name. We thank you for a very successful meeting. We thank you for your atmosphere of peace which pervaded the meeting. We thank you that we did not misunderstand each other. We thank you that we made progress in this meeting. And this society, it has shown that you have ordained it personally for greater heights, and it shall continue to move from strength to strength. Thank you, King of Glory. As we all go to our different destinations, we pray that you in your infinite mercies may guide us, may guard us, may keep us safe, so that when we convene again to have this meeting, we'll have full cause to glorify your name. Thank you, and let our prayers come unto thee, for we have prayed in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President and Chairman.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much, IBP.
Singapore.